Megan reaches a new low in Coronation Street with sickening false claim. Megan Walsh stooped to a shocking new level in Coronation Street after claiming that a supposed confrontation with Maggie Driscoll caused her to lose her baby. But viewers later discovered that was not the truth at all. As fans already know, the abusive teacher had become pregnant with Will Driscoll's baby after spending months grooming the Weatherfield High student. Last month, Leanne Battersby and Eva Price uncovered the disturbing truth about Megan's behavior and believed the pregnancy could be the crucial evidence needed to prove that she had groomed Will. The reality of Megan's abuse was finally exposed after Sam Blakeman, who had also been psychologically tormented by her, ended up in hospital. Sam had pieced together what Megan was really doing and had tried to gather proof, but she retaliated by interfering with his school grades. That pushed him into a dangerous spiral, leading him to take unprescribed medication in a desperate attempt to improve his academic performance. In deeply emotional scenes while recovering in hospital, Sam finally shared what he knew about Megan with Leanne, who then passed the devastating information on to the Driscoll family. They were left horrified to discover that Will had been manipulated and groomed by someone they had trusted. Among them, Maggie was especially determined to make Megan face the consequences, and earlier this week she tracked her down and delivered a chilling warning, making it clear that the predator had no idea what she was truly capable of. And, as longtime viewers are aware, Maggie has taken a life before. Megan, however, had no idea about that part of Maggie's past, and in response she decided to retaliate by going to the police. She accused the Driscoll matriarch of assault and claimed Maggie had pushed her to the ground. At the same time, Will was left devastated when Megan told him that the baby had died after the incident. In later scenes, she repeated the same story to Maggie, insisting that the loss was the direct result of their confrontation the night before and placing all the blame on the Rover's landlady. Will was equally heartbroken and made it clear that he believed Maggie was responsible for what had happened. But by the end of the episode, the truth finally emerged. Megan had actually chosen to have a termination. Now the big question remains, will everyone else eventually discover what she's really done? Ben turns his back on Maggie as Coronation Street's Driscoll family starts to collapse. Maggie Driscoll has been keeping more dark secrets than Shuttleworth's independent funeral service has funeral arrangements. And in Coronation Street, one of those hidden truths is finally on the verge of being exposed, with devastating consequences for her relationship with her son, Ben Driscoll. Pauline McLynn may be best remembered by many as the tea-loving Mrs. Doyle from Father Ted, but over in Corrie, an entirely different kind of explosive revelation is about to spill out. In a recent twist that stunned fans, it was revealed that the sharp-witted landlady of the Rovers once had a fiery affair with none other than Cobble's legend Jim MacDonald. After the famous Irish troublemaker recently died off-screen from pneumonia, Maggie attended his wake, where one of Jim's former army pals recognized her and referred to her as Jim's big secret. So just how far has Maggie been willing to go to keep that secret buried? As it turns out, incredibly far, even to the point of killing. In last Christmas's flashback episode, viewers were taken back to a younger Maggie's birthday, where she pushed her husband Alan to his death during a blazing argument over her affair. Now, viewers finally know the identity of the man at the center of it all. But Ben Driscoll still has no idea that any of this is true. For years, Maggie has gone to great lengths to protect her family and make sure Ben never discovered the truth about his connection to Jim MacDonald. That makes the whole situation even more unbelievable because the Rovers' landlord has recently struck up an unexpected friendship with Steve MacDonald, all while neither of them realizes they are actually half-brothers. And this revelation could not be arriving at a worse moment. The Driscoll family is already in pieces after learning that Will, Ben's son and Maggie's grandson, had been groomed into an abusive sexual relationship by his manipulative athletics coach, Megan Walsh. With Will still emotionally under Megan's control and desperate to be reunited with her, the family has been trying desperately to open his eyes and help him break away from her grip. Aaron McCusker also explained that Ben is carrying a huge amount of guilt and disappointment in himself and is now throwing all his energy into trying to repair the damage. But rebuilding trust with a teenage son, especially after everything that has happened, will be anything but easy. Coronation Street delivers heartbreaking new Todd twist as Theo's temper erupts. Coronation Street has shown more distressing scenes in the troubling Todd Grimshaw and Theo Silverton storyline, as Todd is forced to take desperate measures to hide what he is really planning. George Shuttleworth has been trying to help Todd break free from his controlling and dangerous partner, even giving him a hold-all packed with essentials, including toothpaste, shampoo, and some money to help him escape. But at the start of tonight's episode, Theo discovered the bag and immediately demanded an explanation from Todd. Todd tried to cover by claiming George had given it to him as a gift for his upcoming move to Belfast, but it was obvious Theo was close to losing his temper once again. Rather than directing his anger at Todd straight away, Theo stormed into the bistro and slammed the hold-all down in front of George. In a tense and intimidating confrontation, Theo aggressively asked George if the bag belonged to him, before warning him not to look at Todd but at him instead. He chillingly hinted that people can disappear, suggesting George may have wanted Todd to vanish without anyone noticing. Theo then announced to George, Christina Boyd, Summer Spellman, and the gathered Platt family that he and Todd were planning to leave and begin a new life elsewhere, a statement that left everyone around the table deeply shaken. To keep up the pretense that he was still fully under Theo's control, Todd cruelly lashed out at the very people trying to protect him. He insulted Sarah, mocking her relationships, and accused Christina of only being interested in George for financial reasons. He even turned on Brian Packham, dismissing him by saying he was not even interesting enough to be worth insulting. Although Todd managed to calm Theo down for now, the act came at a painful cost and left his loved ones heartbroken. Those closest to him are still trying to watch over him and keep him safe, but with the planned move to Belfast drawing ever closer, the fear remains that time may be running out for Todd to escape. Next week in Coronation Street, Todd's future in Weatherfield looks increasingly uncertain as Theo pushes harder with their plans to leave. The big question now is whether Sarah and George can intervene before Theo succeeds in taking Todd away. Elsewhere, Debbie's release from prison is set to spark fresh drama for the Webster family. There are 19 major moments coming up in the next batch of episodes, and fans can also check out a separate collection of 32 spoiler pictures for a closer look at what's ahead.